Epic Originals presents Undersea Mystery Club No. 2, Trouble with Treasure. Written by Courtney Carbone. Illustrated by Melanie Demmer. Performed by Kyla Garcia. For my mermaid friends, Natalie and Caroline, keep exploring. CBC. Chapter 1. It was spring cleaning day in Aquamarina, and all of the undersea city was busy dusting, sweeping, and tidying. The sun was shining, and sea flowers were blooming outside of Violet's window, but she was stuck inside until her room was clean.
If only mermaids had magical powers,
she said to Dusty, the starfish that lived on her hair.
Then I could snap my fingers and the whole place would be clean.
Lately, Violet had been spending all of her free time reading about pirates and shipwrecks. That was why her room had gotten so messy. She sighed and picked up a library book called Atlas to Aquamarina. It was filled with maps, including one of Pinnacle Point, which was the oldest part of the city. Tap, tap, tap. Someone was knocking at her bedroom door.
"Come in!"
Violet yelled. A young narwhal with a long ivory tusk appeared in her doorway.
"Wally!"
Violet was thrilled to have a surprise visit from her best friend.
"Hey, Violet,"
Wally replied.
"What you doing?"
He swam into the room carefully, trying to avoid a giant pile of clothes.
"Wanna play hide and seek?"
"Yeah!" Violet exclaimed. It was one of her favorite games. One creature would hide, and then the other would look for them.
"But I have to clean my room first."
"Okay," Wally said. He took a bag of seagrass cookies out of his backpack. "Want one?" he asked.
"Sure,"
Violet replied, catching the cookie he tossed her way. Violet's mom, the mayor of Aquamarina, peeked into the room. "Hi, you two," she said with a smile. "How's the tidying up going?" Violet looked at the papers overflowing her desk, toys scattered all across her floor, and laundry pile that had been there so long that it might be home to new life forms.
"I think I like summer, fall, and winter dirtying more than I like spring cleaning," she said. "I can help," Wally offered. "The two of us together can get it done twice as fast."
He used his tusk to swipe a bunch of puzzle pieces off of a table and back into their box. Violet smiled. Any friend could help make a mess, but only the best kind of friend would help clean one up. "Looks like you're off to a good start," her mom said. "I'll be back in a bit to collect anything you want to donate."
"Okay, let's do this,"
Violet said, getting a second wind. She tossed a bunch of drawings, sports medals, and baby pictures into a bin. Together, she and Wally worked to get the room back in order. Within an hour, the room was spotless. Well, almost spotless. Violet's comforter was covered in polka dots. Violet's mom came back into the room with a box labeled donations. "Looks great," she said. "Before you go outside, do you have anything you want to give away?"
"Yes,"
Violet replied. She pointed to the bin of photos, medals, and drawings. Her mom frowned. "Why are you getting rid of these things?" she asked, sorting through the pile. "They bring back lots of great memories."
"Ugh,"
Violet groaned.
"I'm too old for this stuff, Mom."
"But you might want it someday," her mom replied. "History is important, and our past helps us better understand who we are." She smiled as she held up a baby picture of Violet and Wally. "Well, I won't tell you what is or isn't important to you," she said. But just think about it some more before you get rid of this stuff for good.
I will,
Violet said. But as soon as her mom left, she stuffed the Atlas to Aquamarina book into her backpack and motioned for Wally to follow her out the door. It was time to explore. Chapter 2. Violet and Wally swam out into the cool, crisp water. All over town, ocean creatures were cleaning out their shops and homes. All of the stores, except the restaurants, were cleaning out the buildings where they lived and worked.
I want to show you something,
Violet said. She swerved to avoid a pile of recycling near the curb.
What?
Wally asked.
Follow me. I want it to be a surprise.
They swam through town. Along the way, they passed the school, the village hall, the library, and the new playground that they had helped build a couple of weeks before. Fish of all sizes squealed as they played on the shiny new equipment. They swam and swam and swam some more.
Are we almost there?
Wally asked.
Almost,
Violet replied. They kept swimming. The water got colder, and the shadows grew longer until they were on the outskirts of the city. Finally, when Wally thought he couldn't swim any farther, Violet shouted,
"We're here!"
"Where is here exactly?" he asked. It looked to him like the spot they'd come to was totally abandoned.
"Pinnacle Point,"
Violet replied.
"The earliest known part of Aquamarina. Not to mention the perfect place for hide and seek. Isn't it cool?"
Wally shivered.
"Literally,"
he said. Violet laughed.
"I'll hide and you seek," she said. "This will be home base."
She pointed to a large rock near a clearing. Wally covered his eyes with his flippers and began to count to 30.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're counting too fast,
Violet interrupted.
"Oops,"
he said.
"I'll start over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you're counting too slow." "Okay,"
Wally replied.
"I'll count more medium."
Wally began to count more medium, and Violet swam off as quickly as she could. She kept count along with Wally until she could no longer hear him. Then she started counting along in her head. Violet passed by several good hiding spots, hoping to find the very best one. She soon found herself deep in the underwater trenches. She passed a big, dark cave. It was the ideal hiding spot. Violet crouched down just inside the mouth of the cave and waited.
"This is perfect,"
she whispered.
"Perfect,"
repeated Dusty.
"Shh,"
she reminded him.
"Shh,"
he repeated loudly. Violet had to cover her mouth to stop giggling. Several minutes passed with no sign of Wally. Violet was so well hidden that she started to get impatient.
"Maybe I can do a little exploring while I wait,"
she said to herself. Chapter 3. Violet looked around. Only a small sliver of sunlight shone into the cave, so it was very hard to see how far back it went. She reached into her backpack and pulled out a flashlight. Violet wondered how long it had been since anyone had been inside this cave. The walls were shiny and smooth from the ocean water. There were rock formations hanging from the ceiling and reaching up from the ground. Violet started swimming toward the back of the cave when she stubbed her fin on something.
"Ouch!"
she grumbled, looking down. Something was lodged in the sand. With her flashlight shining on the object, she could make out a hard wooden corner.
Maybe it's a treasure chest,
she exclaimed.
Maybe,
Dusty agreed. Violet grabbed a flat shell and began to dig as quickly as she could. Once more of the object was revealed, she realized that it was a box with shiny metal hinges and a large lock on the front. She had definitely found something special. Real sunken treasure. Sunken treasure really does exist. When ships sink, the items on board may fall to the bottom of the ocean, where they stay until they are recovered by historians, archaeologists, or explorers. One example of this is the wreck of the San Jose. In 1708, the Spanish galleon sank off the coast of Colombia. The ship, which was loaded with gold, silver, and emeralds, was discovered not long ago by a robotic submarine. Our vast oceans haven't been explored completely, so there could still be sunken treasure waiting to be found. What will Violet do with the buried chest? Find out in Book 5.